Ay, ay, ay.
To itself, okay?
Come on.
A lot of women want masculine men, men in their masculine energy, but they're really not in their feminine energy. A lot of women want from men what they're not reciprocating, what they're not bringing to the table, what they're not providing, what they're not allocating to their man, their partner, their husband, their fiance, their significant other. A lot of you women want, but you're not giving that man what he wants. A lot of women preaching about providing, protecting. And I am a firm believer that a man should provide and protect to an extent. But a lot of women think that they're just bringing good looks, conversation, WhatsApp chats, iMessages to the relationship, and that's going to keep a man there. That's going to keep him faithful. You think because you say, hey, how was your day? Or you go out on a date or your movie or dinner, that's going to keep a man faithful. A lot of you women are not setting yourself up to be in a relationship. You're setting yourself up to be cheated on, to be a single mother, to go through breakups after breakups after breakups after breakups. And that reminds me of an individual, my ex. I'll call her, for the sake of this video, Tavares. You know, I met Tavares, and Tavares is a very common name in Spanish, Hispanic cultures. You know, a lot of people have Tavares, middle name, last name Tavares. So it's a very common name, but the topic of the video pertains to women wanting men in their masculine energy, but they're not being in their feminine energy. And feminine energy can be defined in pretty simple terms. You know, it goes back to what our great-great-grandparents went through. Just the simple things. Feminine energy isn't bringing anything to the table. It isn't saying, hey, Tavares, pay my electricity bill. It's not saying, hey, Tavares, pay my car note. But feminine energy is being a woman, being able to accept that men in their masculine energy are subject to providing, are subject to working, are subject to ensuring that you don't go without. But a man is not trying to come home to stress, arguments, disagreements, back and forth. Let's be honest, we don't know what that man went through at work. We don't know what that man's going through with his coworkers, his boss. That man might not like his job. So when he comes home, the last thing that he wants is stress, because he might already be stressed. And a lot of women are, you know, there's a saying, a lot of women want their cake and they want to eat it too. And I'm going to give you an example of Tavares. Tavares was that individual. You know, if I was to look at my exes and who was most in that feminine energy, who was most likely to find a husband, who was most likely to have someone that wants to settle down with them, it would not be Tavares. Because Tavares complained. She lived a sad story. And let's be honest, when you're living a sad story, you tell me And you tell me your sad story. Now I'm sad too. But Tavares was stressed. You know, we disagreed on everything. From where we wanted to go on vacation to restaurants to food and hair. And Tavares said she wanted me to have a beard. I didn't tell Tavares I didn't like makeup or take that makeup off or you look like a clown or why you got all that makeup on your face. I didn't tell Tavares her natural curly hair was ugly. I didn't tell Tavares those cheap fake boobs that she got were ugly. I honestly didn't tell Tavares a lot of things. I didn't tell Tavares her body shape was not my type. I didn't tell Tavares I didn't like those big baggy jeans. I didn't tell Tavares a lot of things about her that I really didn't like that I accepted. But Tavares had the nerve to tell me she likes men with beards. Hey, how you doing? I need a favor. I need a favor. I know I'm sitting here hanging backwards like 50 Cent at the Super Bowl, but I need a favor. I'm not asking for money, donations, clicking a link, nothing like that. Do me one favor. Can you do that for me? It's free. I swear. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. You hit it. You hit it. Yeah, appreciate it. Good looking out. Appreciate it. Hey, I appreciate you. All right. And my quote unquote masculine energy was put in a position to where the tables were reversed and she was playing the masculine role. This is what I like. This is what I want you to wear. This is how I want you to dress. This is how I want your appearance to be. Why is a woman telling a man what he should do with his face? And a lot of women want to play the masculine and the feminine role. And being in that role is going to leave them in one of those 2 or 3 categories that I mentioned previously. That man's going to be like, man, this is stress. Man, I don't got time for this. I ain't trying to hurt this. And he's not going to say these words to her, but in his mind, he's going to be like, man, the first chance that I get, I am going to find someone else. A lot of women put themselves in a position to where that man really has no desire, obligation to be faithful. That man is not thinking, hey, I'm going to lose Tavares, so if another chance to get some grounding pound comes along, I'm going to turn it down. When men are stressed and going through things and men are going back and forth and disagreements and when a woman is not in her feminine energy and a man sees an opportunity to be with someone else, he's not going to say no. If a man sees someone else beautiful walking down the street, at the mall, one of these dating apps, he's not going to say no because Tavares is bringing unnecessary stress to his already stressful life. And that is why Tavares has been cheated on time and time and time again. And if I had my way, she will be cheated on by every man that she meets. If I had my way, she will be a single mother. Again, imagine being cheated on. And one time is a possibility, a chance. But being cheated on more than once, respectfully, you have to start looking in the mirror and saying, what am I doing wrong, Tavares? Women, and even men. This isn't just specific to Tavares. This is specific to us, men, women, him, they, their, hers, she's. This is specific to all of us. Because when you're in a relationship and you don't want to lose that person, you're going to do everything in your power and everything in your might and everything in your will to not mess that up. But most importantly, you're going to do everything to not jeopardize that relationship. And this is where a lot of people fail. This is where a lot of people have issues, is they think that just because they're in a relationship and they say those 3-letter words or those 3 words or 1 letter, 2 words, I love you, I miss you, that person's faithful. Just because that person says, hey, you're mine, you're in a relationship, you're my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my husband, my fiance, we're getting married, that person is faithful. It's a lot of lying going on in relationships. But the number one cause of relationship problems is men and women and Tavares aren't giving their partners anything to keep them around. People say, oh, I talk to them, I check on them. Okay, so does my mother. Oh, I see how was their day. I message them, I call them. So does my mother. A lot of people aren't bringing anything into a relationship to keep anyone from cheating. I'm going to repeat that again. A lot of people aren't bringing anything into a relationship to keep their partners from cheating. People think, oh, I give him ground and pound and he won't want no one else because we have ground and pound. Not a man alive has said because I get ground and pound that I'm going to be with that same person that gives me ground and pound for the rest of my life. Matter of fact, not a man alive has ever said, I want to be with one woman for the rest of my life. Ground and pound. So what do you do in order to get that man or that woman to want to be with you for the rest of your life for ground and pound? What do you do to ensure that they aren't going to cheat on you? And the answer to that question is you have to be in your masculine and your feminine energy. You have to show them that, he's different. She's different. You have to show them that, I don't really want to mess this up. And the problem with a lot of us is everyone thinks that the grass is greener on the other side. Let me repeat that again. Everyone thinks that the grass is greener on the other side. And that leads to a lot of women going from one relationship to the next. And, I'm going to be honest with you. Tavares, she's that person. And I'm going to tell you why women go from one relationship to the next is because they lack accountability. They lack responsibility. And I'm going to give you the last reason why women jump from relationship to relationship. And I'm just going to write something in my handy dandy note. You'll see real soon. A lot of women jump from relationship to relationship because they lack accountability, responsibility. They don't want to say I messed up. They don't want to say that's my fault. They don't want to apologize. But people that jump from relationship to relationship, and you can Google this, Webster's Dictionary, Google, ChatGPT, Yahoo, Bing, Chrome, Safari, DuckDuckGo. A lot of women that jump from relationship to relationship, they're going to deny this, but I have a definition for them. If you can get out of one relationship and jump to the next in 2 to 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, that's you. And that's my ex. She lacked accountability, responsibility, but most importantly, because for me, as men, it takes us time to get over women. It took me a couple of months to get over, one particular woman, right? I'll say code name Vanessa, right? And it took me a while to get over this individual that wanted me to grow my beard so I could have a beard like her ex. It took me a while to get over her because I had invested so much into her. I had invested a lot into, my ex from Uganda. I had invested a lot into my ex-wife. And men that are investing in a woman, right? Investing, especially financially. And a lot of women don't like you to say, hey, I bought you this, I bought you that. I got your daughter all these toys. I bought you groceries. I got this, I got that. I got your daughter this book bag that she likes. I try to put you in school. I bought this jewelry, da 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 da. I paid your car note. I paid your rent. I gave you money. A lot of women don't want to hear that, but that is part of that masculine energy that they want. They want a man to provide, but they don't want that man to ever bring it up that they gave that woman money. But I digress. But back to the point, it takes me and a lot of men time to get over women because we've invested, the masculine male has invested so much into this relationship, so much into this woman, so much into this kid that is not there, so much into this son that's not there, so much into this relationship that it is hard for us to get over that woman in a day, in a week, in a month, because we've both put in emotional, we've both put in physical, we've both put in some type of mental stimulation, some type of physical attraction towards each other. But the masculine man is the only one that invested finances. He's the only one that spent the money, paid for the trips. He's the only one. And my emotions, who I love, who I care about, that can change. That can change for a woman. That can change for a man. You can get those things back. I'm not going to get back the money I spent on trips with my ex. I'm not going to get back the groceries that they ate out of their stomachs. I'm not going to get back the braids I paid for, the clothes, the shoes. I'm not going to get that back. Women. So that's why men take a while to get over relationships, because the masculine man, is bringing more into a relationship that he will never get back. And that's finances. And if you got a problem with a man bringing up finances, you got a problem with a man talking about what he did for you, okay, let's go 50-50. Now, you don't want that, do you? So shh up. In this day and age, the masculine man has a heavy crown to wear. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. But also in this day and age, these women are not taking on feminine roles. They're taking on masculine roles as well. Why are you telling me how I should wear the hair on my face as a woman? Can I tell you, take that makeup off? Can I tell you, take off those ugly baggy jeans? Can I tell you, I don't like your hairstyle, your eyebrows, your eyelashes, your teeth? Can I tell you that? No. Women need to play the feminine role. And I'm not saying play the masculine role too, but women need to play the feminine role. And I'm not really sure relationships benefit men, and I've talked about this time and time again. What have I gained from being in a relationship? What have I gained from being married? Absolutely nothing, because if you look at my social media, I honestly prefer to do things alone. I prefer to travel alone. I prefer to stay in hotels alone, Airbnbs alone. I prefer to have an independent outlook on life, not dependent on what another person likes. Hey, do you want to go here? No. Do you want to go here? No. Do you want to stay here? Do you like this hotel? Do you like this Airbnb? How about this flight? How about this time? What time do you want to leave? Do you want a morning flight? Do you want an evening flight? What do you want to eat? Do you want to eat this? Do you want to eat that? How do you feel about this? Do you want to go to the pool? Do you want to go to the spa? Do you want to go to the gym? What do you do? Do you want to go to breakfast? Do you want to order? Do you want to eat local food? Do you eat at the resort? Do you want to eat at this restaurant? What do you think about this? What time's dinner? What time do you want to go? Do you want to go at 7? Do you want to go at 6? Do you want to go at 8? Do you want to go at 7:30? Do you want to go at 6:30? Do you want to go at 5:30? What do you think about this? What time are you going to be ready? What color you're wearing? Do you want to meet me downstairs? Do you want us to go together? Life is a lot easier for a man without a woman, but hold on, that's a whole nother video. But let's just be honest, women. There's no benefit to men being in relationships because, one, most men would prefer to have a lot of ground and pound by numerous women than just one. Let's be honest. And two, men are doing more for the relationship, as they should, by the way. But men are doing more for the relationship, and when it's over, who lost? I am sure Vanessa still has those pictures and videos on her Instagram. I'm sure she does. Right? Vanessa, take those pictures down. Take Albania down. Take you climbing the mountain down. Take DR down. Take Miami down. Take Spain down. Because guess what? Let's be honest. And I said this in another video that African Queen, my Ugandan ex posted a video of Malaysia from like 4 or 5 years ago that we went on. Right? And guess what? I'm going to get back to Vanessa in a second. Guess what? If you're posting a video from 4 or 5 years ago on a trip that I took you to, all-inclusive, all-expense-paid trip that I took you to, you thought about me. I'm going to say it again. If you're posting videos and pictures of a trip that I took you to from 4 or 5 years ago, you thought about me. Let's be honest. You thought. I don't care if you got a man, a husband, you thought about me. Because one, I took you on a trip. Two, all the pictures and videos you posted, I took. So let's be honest. But back to Vanessa. Take the videos down. Take the pictures down. Erase me out of your life. Although I'm going to keep your name going because you hit me. You Pendel, you hit me. I'm going to keep your name alive, but take the pictures down because when you look at those pictures, when you look at your Instagram or social media and you see Spain and you see Albania and you see Miami, and you see Punta Cana, you're going to think about me. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Delete the pictures. And I know you've probably been with 100 men since we've broken up. Probably a little more than that, but a fair shot of 100. But a lot of women in their feminine energy think they're going to find a better man in their masculine energy, and they're just not. And I've said this before, and I'll say this again. My wife that I was married to, let's say 10 years ago, probably a little longer than that, She has not remarried. And she looks better than African Queen. She looks 100 times better than Vanessa. She has not remarried in over 10 years. So what does that tell you? And I'm going to give you an insight of what that tells you. You're smart. You're smart. If I was doing so much for her, I was paying her rent. She had, 2 different condos. I put braces in her mouth, got her a television. Matter of fact, I went with her to the dentist to get braces in her mouth. I gave her money. Everything she wanted, she had. Trust me. And this was 10 years ago. And everything she wanted, she was spoiled like a little baby. I set the bar so high that most men, unless he's in the NBA, NFL, football, soccer, lacrosse, aren't going to fill those shoes. And that's fine. It was intentional. Same thing for African Queen. Same thing for Vanessa. Most men aren't going to spend 10 to 20,000 on you a year. Let's be honest. Most men gonna take you on a little date, take you to a restaurant. Stuff I was doing in middle school. Stuff I was doing this. I was taking women on dates in 7th grade, right? Basic stuff. They're gonna take you on a dinner, movie, bowling, the top 3 cornball, middle school basic stuff you're gonna do on a date. They're gonna take those 3 things and they're gonna get they want some grounding power. But most men are gonna say, hey, let's go to London, catch the train to London. We're gonna fly from London to Miami, right? We're gonna spend a couple days in Miami. We'll go to Punta Cana. And there in Punta Cana, you're gonna jump on my back and you're gonna hit me. You're gonna assault me. It's gonna be blood all over the floor. You're gonna rip my shirt. Then we're gonna fly back. And you are going to say, I'm gonna talk about that in another story. Most men aren't gonna fly you around the world. Most men aren't trying to pay your rent. Most men aren't trying to pay their rent and your rent, especially when you don't live together. And me being in my masculine energy throughout all these years, from my wife to African Queen, my Ugandan princess to Tavares, I've realized at this point in my life, at my age of 21, that relationships don't benefit men. Being a provider does not benefit men, because when it's over, because one day it's going to be over, you're going to be out thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And the women, just like Tavares, will have the pictures and videos on their Instagram of those memories of money that you spent getting them there. Why don't you delete that, by the way, Tavares? The women will leave with the memories, and you will leave with a little less money in your pocket. So which one would you want? Men, the memories, or the money? I would prefer the money. Women asking men to be in their masculine energy is basically saying, provide for me, just like a child. Go out the way for me, just like a child. Sacrifice for me, just like a child. And when it's over, you'll be out 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100,000. And I'll still have those pictures on my social media. Looking at you, you fool, you simp, you nincompoop. There is no benefit to being in your masculine energy, man. There isn't. Because the women these days, they want to play the role of the man and the woman. You're going to be stressed at work. You're going to come home. They're going to stress you out. Y'all going to be arguing over the simplest things. What is the point? Let's be honest. Relationships really don't benefit me.
Women say, I don't want to obey my husband. And that same woman will go to her job and her boss tells her he wants something done by Monday. She'll say, yes, sir. She goes home, the trash people say, put your trash out on Tuesday. She'll say, yes, sir. She'll go to the hospital, the doctor tells her, take these pills. She'll say, yes, sir. But the man that loves her and wants to provide and protect for her, she has a problem obeying him. That's why you're single.